Make it happen. Okay.
Oh, that was official.
I know,
Whoa.
that was super official.
I'm impressed.
Look at my notes.
Oh, I like that. That should
you.
be your thing.
Just a different little bar.
Just always have like a
cards.
coaster.
All right, let's.
All right.
Hello.
Hi.
So this is, let me quickly, this is episode 3 of Basslines Banter.
3 is my favorite number. Holy Trinity. Bring, bring.
Bum. We have Yelda here.
Hi.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Really good to meet you too. This is exciting for me because we had a great conversation, but I
feel
really
like we're best friends now.
Yeah. But I'm looking forward to this.
Thanks for having me.
Of course.
I'll follow your lead. Take me on the journey.
Definitely. All right. So we're here, Kinfolk 90. We have the Adapa playing music in the background. Yelda's here. And we're going to just like jump right into it by, I'm going to ask you, you recently just moved back to New York, I heard, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So how did you come to New York and what's going on?
How did I come back to New York recently?
How
did I get to New York?
Well, sorry, how did you come back and how did you get here maybe?
Got back to New York because, well, I very much always intended to. I had been in a few different countries, building communities. Coming back to New York was always the final plan, and it just seems like perfect timing. There's a lot of things I intend to do here in New York while I'm here, so I consider New York home.
Yeah.
You can always believe that I will always be coming back to New York.
Nice. And when did you kind of first come here to, I guess, build this home? Like, tell me about kind of when were you first here in general?
Yeah, it was 10 years ago.
Okay.
And is he listening to us?
He is listening, yeah.
Oh my God.
He's got the insider's scoop over there.
I've always wanted to be a fly on the wall. I think I just found my dream job. Wow.
For the next episode, you can come do that.
Are you kidding? What is the name of this job? The creative fly on the wall. That is bars. So I moved to New York 10 years ago for love.
Nice.
My ex-husband lived here, and honestly, it's not the expected story.
Yeah.
People think I came here to like make my dreams come true and like chase them, but I really didn't want to come here. And I was really trying to get him to move to Toronto, and I thought I knew everything about life.
Okay.
I very clearly didn't, but I'm really grateful to him for being the vessel that brought me to New York, which very much is the essence of who I am and home to me now.
Nice. Yeah, so you grew up in Toronto.
I grew up in Canada, so I grew up in Toronto, and I grew up by the Rocky Mountains in a small town called Edmonton.
Nice.
Shout out Alberta. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I love being a Canadian, you know? It's like people think I'm fake and I'm just Canadian. I'm nice.
Yeah, I mean, you have amazing health care.
Yeah, like a year maternity.
Really low crime rate.
Family day. They just care about the families.
Yeah.
Education system is amazing. Like, I really, really am grateful to have been raised in Canada and as an adult get the opportunities of America.
I'm slightly jealous, I have to be honest.
Sorry?
So I'm slightly jealous knowing how much you...
It's definitely like a privilege living in Canada. It's such a good country.
So you moved to New York. You came because you were married and moved here. Definitely different considering where you are right now than a lot of people. I think that. Yeah, not married, but I guess even like on with your musicianship, a lot of people come here with that in mind. So you moved here, and what were you initially doing, I guess? Like when you moved here, what was going on? Where were you at?
No, I was working in media. I had, always been working in media, so I was working in cable, and I sort of got my way into digital as digital started to rise, and I was working, just developing digital products, working in publications that slowly started inching towards more music-oriented, more hip-hop-oriented, more entertainment-oriented, and I found my sweet spot there. But it was very much business-oriented, using my left brain, 9 to 5, and sort of climbing that ladder unconsciously.
So I was going to ask, was that kind of intentional that you were already steering towards musical, parts of like creative industries in terms of business? Like you, I guess, had an interest and it was something where you're like, all right, I want to work in this capacity still?
It was pretty natural. Like, I got an opportunity to work for Russell Simmons, and it was very tech-oriented, and the job made sense with my skill set, and I wasn't even really thinking further than that at the time. When I got there, definitely I was like, oh, I have a lot of opportunity here to create, and I started making content and DJing and sort of using that right side of my brain more and practicing my creative muscle.
Okay. What, in general, what was the landscape of New York, especially within the creative industry? Like,
we blew up Chief Keef.
Oh yeah? Oh yeah?
I discovered Fetty Wap.
Oh yeah?
All right, well, you could just do your research on that. If you think I'm saying that as a joke, you can go ahead. No, music, I honestly was listening to Moombahton and dubstep, and it was dying, and like that trap house sound was coming alive, and I love it. Like, I love bass, and that's why I play so much hip hop, because it's just like, I love bass music. And so I sort of watched that evolution of like trap coming to life and producers becoming the stars and DJing their music live and no longer being behind the scenes in the studios only. And at the same time, just watching streaming fuck the game up.
What are your thoughts on streaming as well? Working, I guess, behind the scenes right now in general.
I mean, I own all my music. I don't stream. Like, I don't have Spotify, to be honest. Yeah, because, like, as a DJ, like, I need to own, I can't stream, like, I have to have my files in my Serato.
Yeah.
So streaming hasn't really affected me. Like, it's kind of frustrating because, like, Apple Music and these platforms are just, like, the uncomparable A&Rs, and so there was a time where like we genuinely were discovering music and putting sounds out, and it's a little harder to do that now, but it's also cool when you do watch yourself support artists. And then, Juice WRLD is an example of someone that I was playing so long before, he was where he is right now, and it's like, that's cool to be like, oh, cool, now if I really still continue to like stalk producers on SoundCloud and do the fun work, like you could reap rewards off just staying on top of new sounds.
That's have gotten so lazy since Spotify, kind of from like digging on the internet.
Totally.
So I feel that.
Everyone is a DJ now. Like, I have mad people that are just like playing music that I'm like, where the hell did you get that song from? Because it's like 3 days that I haven't downloaded music, and already it's like bangers. And I think that's sort of the other difference is what I've seen with music is like attention deficit spans, obviously, is like there's no more like song of the summer. There's like song of the week maybe if you are Drake. But like there is no song that's going for the whole month. There is no song that's like being like played out for the summer or like the winter. It's like it's just really, really quick turnarounds. I think that's just what it is. I don't know if that's positive or negative.
Yeah, true.
We're just humans turning into fish. No big deal.
So you kind of were working at some of these companies that were pushing a lot of music, and you were navigating your way. And then you started, we kind of started talking about it, like with DJing. How did you kind of come to that? And how did that kind of fit in your life? Because I know this is something like you were kind of strictly doing more business-oriented stuff. You were working, and then from what I understand, it seemed to be almost like a switch a little bit, right?
Honestly, back to my love life, when I started DJing, I was going through a divorce, and at that point in my life, I had realized that I think just like I wanted to connect with my humanity, and I wanted to use my hands, and I wanted to just learn something new, and I just realized that I was constantly the person that was at the party wanting to play the music or putting people on and being like, yo, this girl Rihanna's gonna blow, and I've just always been that person. And so I was like, I'm not gonna pick up a guitar or a piano right now, but maybe I'll just learn how to DJ. And it wasn't to be a DJ, it was just genuinely to pick up a new skill, learn something new, be a little, I had just found that I didn't have enough hobbies in that time of my life. It really became art therapy for me, For the first few years, my friends have seen that, like, I really didn't take it seriously. It was private, it was personal, and it was hard to even share it because I wasn't trying to be a successful artist. I was really trying to heal. And it's cool because I definitely always give that advice now when I see people who are wanting to heal. It's like, pick something up, something new, learn something, you know, grab a new skill, do something that you're gonna just do for yourself and not for the validation of others or what it's gonna look like externally.
Yeah. I feel, especially in, I don't know, New York, it's really expensive to be here. You kind of have to come with a purpose, but a lot of people fall into that trap of like going to work and maybe just instead of exploring something new, like going to the bar or like going home and watching Netflix and things of the sort.
No Netflix, no chill. That's my motto, dead ass. Honestly, the whole ethos of Camel Assembly is marching daily, and what that means is if people really were to show up to their purpose and their passions and their dreams as much as they do to their 9-to-5 or to a Twitter trend or to a one-day protest or march, we'd live in the world we live in would just look different. And so we really try to push that ethos of just showing up every day, whether that's just at 1 hour. It's like, if you're going to give so much to the person that's paying your bills, you need to give that much to yourself. And like whether that's your artistry or your community or your connections, it's just showing up.
Yeah. So you mentioned Camel Assembly. And that's, I know you have like, you know, your individual efforts with your artistry as a DJ, and then you also have this group effort that you're a part of as well. Do you maybe explain a little bit what is Camel Assembly as well?
Yeah, Camel Assembly, honestly, I would say if the Illuminati can call themselves a brotherhood, why can't I just say it's a sisterhood? Okay. It's frustrating to get into like terms of, oh, there's a bunch of women together, this must be female empowerment. It's like, it's really not. It's just creative, abundant, intentional women that show up for themselves, for their communities. It looks like everything. It can look like women traveling the world together, building businesses together, giving out, you know, food and product to homeless people, housing one another. It's just really that mentality of abundance and not scarcity. And we sort of call ourselves the drunk girls in the bathroom, where, you know, being drunk in the bathroom, a girl is obviously depicted as someone that's like, oh, you look so beautiful, let me tuck in your tag, let me give you a tampon, here's some lipstick. But on a Tuesday morning, that's not how we would interact with one another. And so we say, like, we are constant drunk girls in a bathroom with that abundance constantly and with that love and that collaboration mentality.
Hello mirror selfies.
Yeah, and so it's beautiful because from that, I honestly believe I have sisterhoods with some of the most incredible humans that I've interacted with, and that is thousands of women across 4 different continents now, where we do live assemblies every month, led by different women, different agendas. It could look like introduction to artificial intelligence, 3-on-1 massages, DJ lessons, learning how to, you know, turn an idea into a business. Or it could, you know, I say that it's like, for the healthiest person, it's still a very therapeutic, safe space.
You're interacting.
And it turns 3 years old this month, baby.
Hey.
Yeah, feels good. 3
years. So you're interacting with people in different countries as well. It's not like just a New York based thing.
Yeah. No, it's definitely not New York based. It's not America based. We're live in Hong Kong and Nairobi and Mumbai and Dubai and London and Toronto. And so, you know, it is very, very much a global vision, but the work is locally focused. When we launched in Nairobi, we didn't just land in Nairobi and be like, oh, here we are now, pay attention. It was a lot of listening. It was a lot of learning, you know. I think the most incredible part of that journey was actually the past 2 years on the road was like, oh, we're going to go to these different cultures, these different countries, these different cities, and it's all going to be different, you know? We're not going to know what they want. We're going to have to, you know, really just like tailor it to them. And what we learned is that it's not the case, you know, is that woman is woman is woman. And I would say the same thing about human. And it's like the same things that were being said across the world continuously. 18-year-old girls, 58-year-old women, every type of sexual orientation, skin color, religious backgrounds, you know, like true diversity. And it's beautiful because they're saying, I want to be healthy and I want to learn something and I want to act right now and I want to share stories. And so we basically do that at Camel Assembly.
So you're holding meetings pretty like monthly, daily?
Monthly is sort of like the family dinner, I would say. But it's an ecosystem that exists every single day. And it's like the more untrackable it is, the more successful it is for me.
Okay.
And so it could be 4 events a month. It could be unisex events. It could be hiking. Like, it's honestly like there's just women that are leading women. This is really what it is.
Okay. So, like, say I'm on the outside and I'm interested. How are you looking and finding for people that to be part of this community? And also, what is specifically like a camel that you're looking for? Like, what are because this is a very specific term to your language. Like, what is that? And like, how are you?
What is a camel?
People? Yeah.
I think every woman is a camel if she was given a safe space and that narrative of abundance. You know, what we found is when people feel safe, they want to create, they don't want to compete, they want to, you know, remove fear, they want to show up for one another. And so there are definitely times where maybe it's hard to engage with community, but there's no type of woman that would not be welcome to Camel Assembly. As a matter of fact, I believe we have every type of woman. And so the engagement point is still invite only, as I do have to obviously ensure the safe space, right? So it's like it's not, we do public events, but Camel Assembly is private, and for the most part is like the communities are building themselves. Women are bringing their sisters, who are bringing their sisters, who are bringing their sisters.
So what's kind of like the age range? Is there a particular, like,
every city's sort of different. Like, I would say our age range is, in New York, you know, it starts from 18 years old. We have college girls, like, it's younger. It goes into the 30s, but we also have girls in their 50s. Other communities might have only girls in their 20s or only girls in their 30s right now that are really, really needing it. It really just depends on the city.
Yeah, that's cool. I guess, so you're trying to, like, you have this platform and you're developing skills. Like, what are some events you have coming up as well, just to give an example of some of the things that you all are doing? Do you have anything coming up that people should know about? The 3-year anniversary?
Yeah, so the 3-year anniversary, we're doing a black dress brunch, and the whole concept is that for decades, we have attended black tie events that are formal. And I don't think that men have attended black dress events.
Hey.
So we're doing a black dress brunch. We're inviting 100 community leaders, unisex, and celebrating the women that have been showing up for 3 years. We have female DJs, female artists, and we're doing it in Brooklyn at a beautiful location. And we're doing it with the ritual of Camel Assembly, which is potluck format. And the concept is like, bring something to the table you sit at. Obviously, we can go and get food, but that's not the point. It's really about taking that time and care and intent.
And what is like the handle, so we can shout that out? Do you know?
Camel Assembly?
Yeah, is it just at Camel Assembly?
Camel Assembly, everything, baby. Ain't nothing else out there.
Hey.
We just changed it to Bamel Assembly, though. Gang, 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 gang.
Sonny's just shaking his head.
Sorry, was in LA for too long.
Let's do a non-sequitur real quick. We're gonna get some New York in here.
Let's do what?
I said a non-sequitur. We're gonna get some New York in here. I'm curious, do you have any favorite quiet places in New York you like to go to?
My favorite place to always hang out is outside of my window. Wherever that window is, that's always it.
Compared to Toronto, do a lot of people hang out on roofs like they do here in New York?
Yeah, there's rooftop culture for sure. The thing is like, old Toronto, new Toronto is like it's real. And like there's just so much development that I haven't been there in a decade. So like what it was when I lived there, it's literally just not that thing anymore. There's more cranes in Toronto than anywhere in the world. Like they're just every time I land, there's a new community that's been built. So I can't really speak on what it is now. Yeah, but I have definitely experienced and witnessed amazing rooftop culture out there. Yeah, they're bougie as hell. It's like they have like a sprinkle of Miami in them. It's weird.
It's nice. Yeah. Let's see. We'll do one more, and then we'll kind of get some more of what's on my card right here.
Okay.
Let's see. Is there any particular food spots you would recommend from you since moving back that you've discovered recently?
Yeah, well, honestly, I wasn't here for 2 years, so like my favorite place in the world is ABCV.
What's that?
Do you not know ABCV?
I don't know, I honestly don't.
Okay, so there's ABC Kitchen. ABCV is the vegan version. It's amazing. Like, I had a pancake there the other day. That was my best pancake of my life. And there's just no exaggeration. Like, literally, I had the pancake, and I was like, oh, I've never had a pancake before.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm vegetarian, so, like...
Where is it?
It's, like, in the East Side, 20th, and, like, Broadway, maybe.
Okay, all right, word. Strip it out.
Yeah.
So going back also to, we were talking kind of about, like, the Camel Assembly Instagram and Instagram in general. I know we previously talked about being a creative and being a creative that exists online as well as in real life, especially when you're going to so many different places but also have time to yourself and balancing that. What is kind of your, I guess, concept and conception of the perception of the online identity versus your real life identity? Particularly when I followed you, I saw you have that blue little check.
Oh, that blue check, blue check, blue check. You know what? My Instagram is so calculated. I always think it's crazy if people think it's real, you know? Like, it's my brand. I have a Finsta. No one follows it. It's private. My real life lives there. There are no filters. There is no... You know, my Instagram is incredibly intentional. I'm not obviously faking moments. Life is good, you know, we're working hard, but it's definitely a storytell that's intentionally being shared to, you know, the point where it's like every photo is going to be me with my girls or me, period. Like, love you, but it's not part of my story. So I think it's like important for people to use social media as a tool and not as a space to really connect and believe stories. Like, there are plenty of times people are like, oh, your life is lit. You haven't called me in 2 months. And you're like, well, that's funny because, like, my posts are all scheduled and I've been in a depression. So maybe we should talk about the fact that you should call me. And I think that exists a lot. There's plenty of times where I'm like, my mom will, you know, be like, what is this working? You know, and you're like, you know, you're sharing a storytell that you believe will be enjoyed and you're trying to make it as aligned to your real life. But also for me, like, I would never share my family on my Instagram. Like, my niece and nephew would not be on my feed. Like, I like to keep my life private and separate. So where I am sharing is like, I'm sharing me and my life with my girls, building Camel Assembly, DJing, traveling, and if it doesn't fit that story, it's not being posted.
Sure. Do you think, like, under that lens and guise, that's a good, just like a personal model, something that if you're trying to create a business, especially so many people do create business through Instagram?
Yes, I think definitely keep your mental health separate from using social media to build your brand. I think that is the key thing where I find so many people consuming on social media. I genuinely, like, I output and keep it moving. Like, for me, I don't really care to scroll through my feed, honestly. And I think that when it comes to, as you're asking about the blue check, is like, I think that what was cool about the blue check is, like, I have less than 5,000 followers. So for people that think numbers matter, it's cool to remember that the real world matters and real work matters. And so that's really all I had to say about the blue check.
Word. And have you, I mean, is there any particular difference, even like monetarily you're finding, or like people finding you? Because I know you talk about like text messages.
Period.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes, totally.
Yeah,
and we will turn those checks into change.
Yeah, true. Yeah, you were talking, and you kind of mentioned about injecting consciousness as well. Like, what is the importance of that, and particularly with you're doing things that for a lot of people they want to do, and some people do it for personal reasons as well. But things like, within DJing, where people are like, oh, like I want, kind of like some of the other, what we think comes with that, like, fame, yada, yada. And you were talking about keeping it very community-minded as well.
It is such a community-building vessel for me, DJing. I honestly didn't even take it seriously until I had so many women wanting to party to my music. And it was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, we should start turning this into a thing. What was your question?
I guess I'll make more of a question out of it. How are you, what's developed your lens for creative practice?
For creative
practice. So it seems that your lens is filtered through a lot of consciousness and touching other people, not necessarily looking at yourself and trying to elevate yourself. So is there anything in particular you can point to that you feel like is helping, has developed that way? Like, why are you interacting with other people in your creative practice?
I think that consciousness is my purpose, so that will manifest in me making different things that push consciousness. I just, my spiritual journey has been as such that I've found it the answer to many things. It was like acting consciously or unconsciously, removing the ego. And I think that, I just read something funny the other day where people talk about spiritual awakenings like it's just this beautiful thing, and it's just not, it's painful, and I hope to live it for the rest of my life and continue to shed my ego and continue to spread consciousness. I think it's the answer for a lot of modern day society, and everyone is just so focused on making money and so selfish, self-minded, that it's like, I'm a tribal person, I'm from Afghanistan. Like, it's in my blood to want to show up and have a tribe and connect with my tribe. And nowadays, because of mobilization, like, our tribes don't look like mother, father, brother, sister, It's like everyone's looking for their like-minded. For me, is like, I like to surround myself around conscious people that are focused on how is this affecting the environment? How is this affecting my body? Where is this coming from? Like, is this coming from a positive or negative space inside of me? And I think it's because that's what I want to keep myself accountable to. I want to be someone that moves consciously, and so I just keep it at the forefront of my purpose.
All right. Where we at? 1 minute? 5? 1:15? 15.
Get out of here.
5. Okay, 5 more minutes.
Oh my God. You're gonna get my social security number by the end of this.
You were talking about kind of a spiritual awakening. I was wondering if there was a particular point in your life where you can point to that being something. Because I feel like a lot of people maybe use drugs or have this other things where like, oh, I feel like I'm becoming more woke. And we have this like woke culture. Was there just like maybe a personal point or something where you're like, I feel like I'm seeing more than previously before, or were you always kind of shaped that way, or like?
I think that like, I personally can't think of I don't think it's a moment that becomes a spiritual awakening. For me, like, my spiritual awakening began 5 years ago, and it will continue for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
Great answer.
Okay, all right.
Let's see. We have 5 more minutes left. We have to get to the gift. 3 now. Okay.
I want my gift so bad.
What else do we have here? Blah, 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 blah. That was pretty much. Oh. Do you have any particular words of encouragement for somebody that might either have been in your position 10 years ago, 5 years ago, where you are right now, or just, let's say you were looking back at yourself when you first got to New York, or like right after you kind of had a major shift in your life? Do you have anything in particular that you've learned now that you would give in terms of words of encouragement?
Definitely that mountains are made of sand, you know, and I think that everyone wants a mountain, and you sort of get caught up on the vision of that, and you forget that, like, it's marching daily. It's like every day you just got to put some sand together, and it'll stick together, and it'll become a rock, and one day you'll have a mountain. I think consistency and, like, you know, I think it really is just consistency, and, like, there might be blocks, there might be obstacles, there will be all of those things, but knowing that, like, what is your other option? It's like you're either going to keep making or what?
Cool. Oh, yeah.
Not hanging out with me. You ain't going to hang out with me if you're not making.
All right, yeah, I'm definitely coming to a dinner.
Yeah, I think that's very much it, is like, don't get caught up on, like, the mountain. Just, like, throw some sound down every fucking day.
All right. I think it could be time. It could be time. We got to find, where's Angel? Let's see if we can get Angel.
Oh, my God.
Where's Angel?
Ding, ding. Ding,
Angel
ding.
should know what time it is. I don't know where he is. Do we know where Angel is? Because Angel's a gift. Angel's a gift. Can one of you get Angel?
Why does Angel have my gift?
All right.
Sucks.
I think he, oh no, it might be in his bag. Let me see.
Yeah,
Let me
here,
see.
I got you.
So, here's your gift.
Oh, wow.
Here's your gift.
All right. Can you just hold this?
Yeah, I'll hold this. I'm not supposed to be in this interview right now.
Glitter glue. Purple glitter glue. What I will tell you is if this was biodegradable glitter, it would have been a game changer.
It would have been, no, damn it. It's dollar store though. You know
I'm so happy about this. I'm going to use this.
Yes.
Watch.
I figured from our conversation.
No, I will
You
use
seem
this.
to be the glue in a lot of relationships and communities. So I thought about it and wanted to give it to you. Hey. Killed it.
Killing me softly.
Also,
Wow.
camels may get turned into glue. I don't know.
The camels what?
Nothing.
What about the camels? What about the camels?
I said camels may get turned into glue. I don't know.
Camels. Don't glue camels together. I don't know where we're going with it, but glue, yes.
Yes.
Camels, my glue.
Exactly. Glue in a relationship. See, there we go.
Speaking of camels,
there we go.
Look at these little.
I heard Sabina was doing some newsletters.
She has been making artwork for our weekly newsletter.
Sabina,
it's been fire. Hello.
This is not a club.
Sabina is the babe of life. Can I go play with my glitter glue?
Yeah,
now?
all right, one last question.
Oh, wow.
So this is the final question we're asking everybody. And I had prepped you for this one.
You what? You prepped me?
Yes. Who should we have on here next? You speak to the camera.
Okay, by far.
Who should be on here next?
My best friend and business partner, Keshia Hannum.
Yes. All right.
Are you guys listening to me?
Yeah, let's add her.
Something else is happening on the side, but Keshia Hannum, she's a babe.
All right.
She's really smart.
All right. We're
Pretty
gonna look
sexy.
her up. Okay.
It's all you.
I said we're gonna have a conversation at your dinner party.
You had a combo with her?
No, I said the next one.
Oh, yeah. Okay, fair. No, she's here. She's here. You'll meet her now.
I'll meet her.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
This went
so
super
exciting
quickly.
to see where this goes. Bless you guys. Don't stop. Get it.
We won't. Thank you.